Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight is massively important to understand. We're always following trends on this channel, and we just saw a U-turn of epic proportions. The media is lining up and pushing each other over to celebrate the drop in homicides and gun violence over the past year. Something seems a little bit amiss because like a week ago and every week prior to that, it was the exact opposite story. So what's going on here? Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I can't wait to hear from you guys on this one. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. We would love to have you along for the ride, and thank you for that consideration. And this content is brought to you by Vanish Holsters. I'm going to say a quick word and then hit it. My brothers and sisters, I am excited to bring you what I think is the biggest giveaway that I've ever seen on this channel, and it's brought to you by Vanish Holsters. Now, Vanish Holsters is made for the everyday American concealed carry patriot, not the upper echelons of the gun world. We're talking somebody who wants to have a gun, have it be comfortably stored, and safely stored to protect themselves and those that they love. This is the most comfortable holster that you're ever going to wear. This is a 48-inch belt that fits universally to anybody, and it's completely ambidextrous. It has a no-stink material, and it fits up to a 46-inch waist. This is something that you're going to want to check out. Look at this. They are launching the biggest giveaway I have ever had on this channel. They are giving one of you this incredible Jeep Gladiator and $25,000 worth of gold thanks to Vanish. To enter, all you have to do is click the link in the description and get yourself the most comfortable holster you've ever worn, and Vanish is hooking you up. Get $40 off now when you use my link in the description box below. All right, my brothers and sisters, do we have some stuff to dive into right here. Because you well know as well as I do, they've been telling us for the past 3 years, ever since the Biden administration was instilled, that guns were the problem. And when there's more guns, there's more crime, there's more violence, there's more homicide. And so the American population, in response to that, bought more guns than they've ever bought before on a buying binge, including multiple demographics, including multiple sexes, multiple sexual orientations. Tremendous amounts of different diversity coming into the gun world, which is amazing, by the way. But yet the numbers go down. Isn't that weird? Let's dive into this. I've got some things to show you, and everything is always linked. Here you go. It is historic. The U.S. poised to see record drop in yearly homicides despite public concern over crime. Isn't that weird? This came out today, and that's not the only one. Let's look at the next one here. This is just two I picked. Homicides in U.S. set to drop by record numbers this year. Now, why would they be doing an about face, you wonder? Let's get in here. I've got the answer for you, of course, because I'm going to show you everything and bring receipts. But I found this interesting. Remember that video we did about 3 hours ago with the Gun Violence Archive? Weird. This is on ABC. That looks like it's falling off of a cliff. Again, I would like to postulate that their thesis of more guns equal more crime, when we've had a massive gun buying binge in the United States and the numbers are falling off at record and historic rates, there might be a discrepancy in what they're selling us, because they're selling us lies. Anyway, let's continue. I got more graphs, all from the same articles. They're all linked. Annual homicide rate in the United States. This goes back to before 1963. That's weird. It looks like it peaked from the 70s to the 90s, and in the 2020s, we're actually a lot lower in that time frame. Almost like there's been a manipulation to scare you out of your gun rights by a very distinct and organized and directed gun control lobby. They've been lying to you. There's the numbers right there. I've covered it multiple times, and me and Tim are going to dive into this tremendously deep tomorrow on Second Legacy. But here's another one. Here's the purchases. This is from NBC. Look, all going up. How can it be going up and then the homicides are going down, but they tell us more guns equals more crime? It's impossible. It's directly inverse to what they tell us. Let's explore it a little bit. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure you guys can figure it out too. It might be potentially election season. Check this out. With 2023 ticking down, the nation is poised to finish the year with its biggest annual drop in homicides on record, according to preliminary data from law enforcement agencies both large and small. The United States is expected to plummet nearly 13% compared to 2022. 13%. Keep that number in mind, because check this out. This is the guy who was commenting on this. Before this year, the largest year-over-year drop in homicides occurred in 1996, when murders fell by 9%. We just did 13%. We had more guns bought than we've ever had bought before in the prior 3 years. Everything the gun control lobby has told you is a lie, and I'm calling them out directly on it. And share this video out. I've got the stuff right here I'm about to show you and all the receipts, and it's linked. They have been telling you that more guns equals more death, a direct ratio and proportion. They could not be more wrong. In fact, everything that I'm showing you right here, increase in gun ownership, decrease in homicide to record levels, it's directly opposite of what they've been telling you. The Davy Hoggs, the Shannon Watts, the Gabby Giffords, all those multi-million-dollar organizations that sponge off the government to take your gun rights, they've been lying to you, and they are being proven incorrect by the media, which is the next part of this video, which gets real interesting. Let's keep going, though, because I'm sure there's some underlying grander reason that they would throw one of their gun control narratives under the bus for something else. There's always something. Watch the other hand. The drop in homicides comes as more than 3/4 of Americans say there is more crime in the U.S. than a year ago, and more than half of Americans say the same thing about crime in their local area, according to Gallup polling. Wait a minute. Polling in an election year is pointing to the fact there's more crime or a perception of more crime, so now the media is doing an about-face and abandoning the gun control narrative, of which they pushed for 3 years on us, force-fed us like a beer funnel. What could it be? Could it be maybe election season coming up and they need Biden to look better than he actually is? Because that's exactly what's happening right now. You're seeing all these organizations who have said more guns equal more crime do an about face and say like, oh my goodness, we're the biggest record drop of homicides on record. It must be something else. Oh wait, here comes the gun argument for the Safer Communities Act, the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. All right, so let's see, what could it possibly be? Cities say the 2023 drop in homicides and other violent crimes can be attributed to expanded efforts to prevent crime, including working with community volunteers, targeting gun possession in high crime areas, and placing officers on foot and bike patrols. More cops focusing on high crime areas. Weird. You're focusing on the criminals and you're seeing a 13% decrease after you saw 2 years of no accountability. Does that sound like something that Biden did, or maybe the correction from what the woke DAs did? Let's continue. I got a little bit more for you. It is historic. It's the largest one-year decline, said Asher. The largest one-year decline. But don't worry. Here's the propaganda ready to take it and just run into 2024. This is why they do this. The challenge faced by local law enforcement to bring down the country's homicide numbers for the second consecutive year, following a record jump in 2020 and a sizable increase in 2021, was achieved this year with a major assist from the U.S. Justice Department and bipartisan gun control legislation passed by Congress. They're trying to spike the football on the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, of which they said does nothing, is not enacted yet, has not seen a single lick of effect at all, and now they're trying to spike the football for something that was already there, and we've got the largest dip on record. All the while, more guns are being bought than have ever been bought before. You guys smelling what they're stepping in? Because they're trying to take credit for it, and the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act did nothing of what they're talking about. We covered it. It included funding for red flag bribery for states. It made every 18 to 20-year-old go through a mandatory 10-day waiting period. It did nothing to curtail any gun ownership, like specifically from like seizures or banning of any guns, of which the gun control lobby has advocated for. It literally just made obstacles and funding. That's what it did. Oh, and then it also allowed the ATF to reinterpret who's a firearm dealer through executive rules. Everything that they've done, it's a crap piece of legislation, but it does not account for a reduction in homicides. And they're trying to now spin this and say, look what we did. The whole time they've been bashing it. Anyway, let's continue. I got one more for you. This is the hard spin right here. Monaco said, this is the deputy DOJ official, Monaco said the federal government has played the role of force multiplier in helping law enforcement drive down the nation's murder rate by identifying and removing most prolific shooters and violent offenders from the streets, so arresting murderers and felonious convictions. That's not difficult, but wait, Safer Communities Act, guys. Something that we are doing is issuing new authorities from the most significant gun safety law that passed in 30 years, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act that passed last year. And with that tool, we've charged more than 300 defendants with trafficking and illegal trafficking. Really, 300 people was responsible for 13% reduction in homicides nationally. Are you buying what they're selling, guys? Because I'm not. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.